What's up, fish tank keepers, fish keepers? This video, as you can see, is going to focus on this tank, the discus tank, the 100-gallon, or specifically the 112 gallons, but I'm just going to call it 100-gallon. Not going to focus on the discus today, not for a couple more months, just because I'm going to kind of lead up to that. So the fish I'm focusing on today is this little fella right here, and it's called Bristlenose pleco. This is an albino version. So the normal looking one is brownish, grayish in color. Not brownish actually, more grayish, with a couple of spots, tiny little grayish spots too, that kind of in a different shade. And so by the way, before I start any more, I just want to get this out of the way. Any care species video, that kind of thing, anytime I do that, when I talk about how to care for each one, I will prioritize things in order, like, for example, number one, let's say I'm talking about a big fish, number one, tank space is important, I'll go on about that. Number two, filtration, and I'll go on about that. Okay? So, speaking of that, I'll start about how to care for this particular type of fish. Sorry, that was my dog. Number one would be filtration. I'm going to point this out right now, and this applies to every type of nearly every type of catfish. All catfish really poop a lot. Like, so you want some heavy filtration on them. It doesn't have to be a lot of flow. I got 2 Eheims canisters on both sides. This one is a female, by the way. So filtration would be number one on my list. So I suggest getting a filter oversized for the tank. Don't get hang-ons if you're planning to get more than one pleco. Trust me. Unless you plan to do water changes every other day or so, I don't suggest doing that. So, second thing would be tank mates. Tank mates, as you can see, they're fine with discus, they're fine with tetras. They're fine with most fish, but certain fish you have to watch out for, especially if you're planning to get more of the same kind. These guys are generally peaceful, but can be semi-aggressive towards their own kind. He actually killed one of his own, or she actually killed one of his own tank mates. It was a little smaller, but really close to her size. So just watch out for that. But the other one is fine, but is a little more shy. So I'm not going to afford to catch him wherever he is. Third thing, tank size. No, actually I would say tank setup, really. You want the tank setup. It doesn't have to be planted, but ideally you want it to be sand. Ideally, I have some sand and the pleco just literally pushes the soil everywhere. I gotta kind of push that back every once in a while. I gotta do the next water change. I'll fix that. You'll see. So set up the tank with sand, preferably, and lots of driftwood if you can. At least one piece, because plecos love to chew on wood. They'll spend half of the day doing it. This one is her favorite spot is right under this wood. She hangs upside down. Sometimes she's not even sucking on the wood. She's on her back. And she's quite aggressive, not like attacking other fish aggressive, but when it comes to feeding time, once she finds her food, she claims her food. Like when I drop in the wafer, algae wafers, sinking wafers, the discus come and peck at it, and then she just goes wild. She chases them all away, and they flee to the other side. Fourth thing. Plants. Yes, plants. Okay. I suggest you get either hardy plants, if you're going not really into CO2, that kind of highlight kind of thing. So get like anubias, java fern, you know, cryptocorn, jungle val. Or if you got CO2, yeah, plant tank is fine. It's actually pretty good for them because the waste that they create is very good for the plants. So that said, this leads me to the last one, number 5. Feeding. Oh. Now this ties in with lighting at the same time. So, what feeding? What I feed them is algae wafers, sinking wafers. Occasionally she comes up. There's a couple bloodworms that the disc has been missed. She'll go and get them, but occasional zucchini. Zucchini is very good for all fish. I mean, even my I don't know if I mentioned this, but even my Oscars ate it, and the arowana goes for it a little bit and stuff. Discus do, so zucchini is like worldwide kind of thing. Yeah, vary their diet and feed. In the first few days you get it, or maybe even weeks. Feed at night, just right before you turn off the lights. Drop it in, kind of near where you know it hangs out or where it is. And then just turn off the lights and don't worry, you'll get its food unless you just chose the wrong tank mates. Like I said, it's very peaceful, so don't. This is the size it gets. This is its full-grown size, like 5 inches if you're lucky. So don't get huge tank mates. I know discus are pretty big, but they're not, you know, aggressive kind of fish. Yeah, that's the Bristlenose Pleco video. I'll also show you guys the one I have outside. There it is. Kind of dark. Don't light this tank often. It's a longfin one, albino again. It's a male. Might put him in with the other one, vice versa, but thinking about it. And if you missed the clown knife, like you wanted to see it, well, here it is. I mean, he adjusted quite quickly. Look. Yeah, this video is kind of long, but he's really nice. If I go like really fast up to him, he knows I'm there. He just swims right back into. His usual hiding spot is in the plants, in the Amazon sword. Yeah, see, like that, he just goes right in. But by next week, he should be really comfortable and coming out a lot more. You can see him right there. Just a quick shot of him. But as soon as you turn out the lights, 10 seconds later, he's out and about, and that's when they feed him. So I'm hoping to kind of gradually, like, not, I wouldn't say starve him, but feed a little less and feed a little more in the day, so he might come out feeling a little more hungry and eager to eat, thus making him swim out in the daytime. And also, yeah, that's the Pleco again. I would buy those Plecos. They're great algae eaters too. If I didn't mention that, by the way, that's probably the most crucial piece of information. Okay, I have fun with them because I even kind of bred them a little bit, but didn't bother to take care of the fry. So have fun with that. They're easy to breed. I'll go into breeding a little later, but in other videos.